All right. Hello, YouTubers. My name's Hope, and this is my channel. I'm just getting it off the ground and started. I have a lot of thoughts, I want to share. I'm very verbose. Anyway, I love words. I adore words. I think words are awesome. Words have great power. Use them to heal, use them to love, use them to support each other. It's all about building each other up, guys. That's what it means to be human. So where to start? Well, I am 33 years old, which is cool, right? Double digits with the threes. Yay. There's a really cool neurology information about that, which I would go into if I remembered it, but I just like the numbers. I love numbers. I've actually always loved numbers, but I lost that love and I lost my authentic self along the journey of life. It was chaos. It was awful. My life up until this point has been not easy. Not easy at all, I am a survivor of childhood abuse. Every single form of abuse that you can imagine when I was a child, I experienced. My father was honestly, I believe he's a sociopath. Well, no, he's definitely a sociopath, but I think he's a psychopath as well. That man is not right in the head, unfortunately. But yeah, so, the abuse started when I was 4 years old, and it continued on until I was 17. He would molest me and rape me and share me with his friends. This is a lot. That's a lot. Maybe that's too heavy. We don't want to believe that this kind of evil exists in the world. And a lot of good people, really good people, just want to live in denial of it. They don't want to believe what I'm saying. They'd rather invalidate me than think that this actually happens to children, because it is heartbreaking, honestly. People who don't want to believe me, it's because, well, some people it's because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to think of that happening to a child, and it's just easier to live in denial of it. But when we don't see the world with truth and reality, and we live in delusion and illusion because we don't want to see it, it just perpetuates the problem, because you can't fix and heal and change what you can't see and recognize and acknowledge. So you may be a good person, a truly good person who doesn't want to believe that these sorts of atrocities happen. But if you're one of those people, then you're part of the problem. We need to see things with reality, and we need to see things for how they actually are so that we can heal. And that's true on every level, as a human being and as a society and as a humanity. We have to move forward. We have to create progress. We have to create change. I'm all about change. I love change. This society hates change. We're so scared of it because we just want consistency and stability, and we don't want things to change. But the truth is, life is all about the change, and we grow in the uncomfortability, and we get better through change. I will never be somebody who's not willing to change. I love changing. I love growing, and I love learning. And that is something that is fundamentally part of who I am. So, if you're out there and you've been through the kind of abuse that I've been through, verbal, mental, emotional, sexual, physical, spiritual in a lot of ways, because they stole my belief and my faith in God and in something bigger than myself, because I felt like he abandoned me when things were rough in my life. If you're going through hardships, if you're going through difficulties, if you've had experiences similar to mine, whether it was as bad, that's a comparative thing. But we as human beings love to compare, especially when we're still us. No, always. It's just something that we do. But yeah, And a really key part in comparison, because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with comparison. You can objectively look at something and say, oh, that person's experience was objectively worse than mine. It's when we falsely build ourselves up or put others down, that comparison, or put ourselves down, put ourselves down, that we run into problems in our lives. There's nothing wrong with objectively looking at things. And also, we also use it to relate out. You know, if someone listens to my video and they hear about my abuse and that I've been treated terribly in my life, they like to tell themselves, oh, well, it wasn't as bad. Mine wasn't as bad. Nobody beat me. You know, nobody sexually abused me. It was just emotional and mental. Okay, cool. You're relating out of what I'm saying, and then you can't hear what I'm saying and take away the parts that might resonate and help you to grow and change as an individual. So I just wanted to bring your awareness to that, because it's definitely a very common thing that I see in my life and in my study of psychology and ego and human interaction as a whole. Yeah, people want to relate out. Ooh, 12-step program. I did that, right? Eating disorder. Yay. Recovered. Amen. But yeah, I see it all the time with people who are struggling with addiction, whether their addiction is food, alcohol, drugs. They love the addict. Oh, and I totally get this. I used to do this. The addict loves to compare themselves to other people and then find themselves, oh, well, I'm not as bad as Johnny over there, so, you know, I'm not an addict. Yeah. I accidentally did crystal meth the other day when I didn't really want to be doing crystal meth, but, you know, I have control over this. I have power over this. Don't worry, guys. I got this. You know, I'm not doing 12 pounds of it. I don't know anything about crystal meth, guys, which I think is fairly clear now that I just said 12 pounds because, like, that's silly. Yeah, but you get the drift of what I'm saying. That is a very common thing that happens when you're in an addictive mindset. And I get that because I did that with food where I was like, oh, well, I'm not as fat as, you know, Lisa, you know, I'm just, so it's not a problem that I'm like, you know, 30 pounds overweight. You know, she eats so much more than me, so it's okay. My problem's not nearly as bad as hers, so I don't really have a problem. How bananas is that? Of course I have a problem. Just because somebody else's problem is objectively worse than mine doesn't mean that I don't have a problem. It just means that I'm falsely building myself up at their expense. I'm putting them down to make myself feel better. It's human, and I get it, and I have no judgment around it. But what I do have is accountability, awareness, and acceptance of what's true. And that's what my channel is going to be about. It's going to be about healing. It's going to be about overcoming trauma. It's going to be about my life journey, just whatever I feel like talking about in that moment, because I am not into planning nice videos, to be perfectly honest with you. I have no intention at the moment of like sitting down and doing editing and everything. Like, I think that it's so amazing and wonderful and beautiful when others do it. Like, I truly admire it and I appreciate it, like, for sure. That's just not where I'm currently at in my journey, but I want to start getting my voice out there, and I want people to be able to hear me regardless of how pretty my videos are. So if this resonates with you, if this is something that feels light to you and truth to you, then give it a like, give it a subscribe, and give it a share. Much appreciated, everyone, and I hope you have a beautiful, blessed night. There's a lot to be grateful for. And if that makes you angry, you should probably keep listening, because there might be something here for you. One of the weird laws of the universe, guys. Peace. Good night.